Yeah, so I'm prying with a screwdriver while holding it open, and let's see if we can get this thing off. Ow. Oh, sweet. So what'll happen is that this green thing will just snap off, and there's a spring and a piece of white plastic. It all goes back on the same way, so if you break that off, don't worry. Yeah, make sure you don't throw away your gas tank, because you are going to need some of these screws. We reuse most screws on the new tank. And of course, you never just throw anything away. So with these screws, you know, be kind of careful, because if you don't get your Allen key seated well in them, you strip the head out. And that gets really annoying, especially if you end up having to drill the damn thing to get your part off. And if you like to work on your bike a lot, it's great to pre-order a bunch of screws. Like these are 5mm by 12. Actually, yeah, this is a button head type fastener. So if you get one that's a standard fastener, if it can fit, which it probably will, you can use a 4mm instead of a 3mm, and you have a better surface for driving. But if you only have the normal socket head, then you run the risk of it not having clearance. So then you have to get a button head, or another style is a low head, which we will talk about later. Yeah. Not as cold as it was when I rode in. When you remove the old gas tank from your bike, make sure you do not dispose of the tank. The vehicle emissions label is important, especially if you're going to import a bike into California, because that will ensure no problems. You might want to try to peel it off if you're going to sell the tank on eBay, but it's a tamper-proof sticker and it might fall apart. A great cheat for getting the coil connector off, like you just push on it and sometimes that works. If it doesn't come off that easy, you can kind of help it with your screwdriver in here and just help get it off the latch. Pull the wire, spark plug wire off, and owners of the 1100 Evo will rejoice in that there's only a single coil lead, so it makes it a little easier to put it back together. This way. Yay! Those we reuse. Undo the breather, the crank breather, and then this giant hose in the middle is the new and dramatically increased in size stepper motor breather. So it's held in by these two posts, so it might be a little bit mean. get a rag or a towel or something so that you can help protect the oil cooler. Dude, my finger's coming out of the glove. This is when having like 10 different ways to do the same tool helps. Well, this is an interesting new development Ducati did. Wow. So check out, they use a steel fastener that has a hex drive and is internally threaded, so they don't use spacers. So this is fastened to the engine and won't loosen, so that the bolt holding the bracket threads into it. So if this gets loose, then the whole system is safer. So that's new for this model. It's actually something we were going to design a change for. So we'll plug that into the air filter. So we remove the now easier to do ground. Let's remove that cable from the bike all together. Yeah, it started to turn the post, so I'm holding the wire here and preventing it from turning. So we should probably work on tightening the post before we put this all back together. So we turn it around. Now, of real big importance, you see that other engine ground, other wiring ground there. You need to make sure you keep him. You need to put him back on or something will be horribly wrong. Probably you'll kill the regulator. I don't want to put a whole lot of force on it. Hopefully their little bitty cap fits over our bigger wire. Put on the lock washer and the nut. And then try to get the rubber cap to fully seal over the starter. We disconnected the EVAP canister, which gave us access to the ground. We removed the ground cable altogether, and then we rerouted the original starter cable to the ground. So now the original starter cable is the new ground cable. And we fed through and added the supplied starter cable. We're going to put a pod filter in there. This is the stepper motor hose. We'll put a little tiny breather pod filter in there. And then this hose is the Airbox drain, so he can actually just go away.